Central Recreation and Fitness Center ang ilan sa mga lugar na posible nating makita ang ilan sa mga colleges and universities that have provided strength and resilience in the 8th game day of the Far East Basketball League Season 1. At kami pa rin po ang mga kasama nyo para sa araw na ito, especially with the games that we have today being led by PCU and Arandia.
For our games today, we do have a quadruple header, starting off with the PCU Dolphins going up against the Rhinos of Arandia College at 9 a.m., followed by the PIC Commandos and the AUF Great Danes.
You also have PAP? Yeah. You also have pamangtasan ng lungsod ng Pasig kontra sa PMI Admirals. And then finally, we're gonna have PUP kontra sa College of St. Catherine Wildcats. We have a quadruple header ahead of us today. And, you know, a really good morning to start things off. Once again, my name is Hans Galeria. Kasama ko dito, walang iba kundi si Coach Anton de los Reyes. We will be joined by Miss Angelica Sarmiento later for courtside. But just like what we've said, this is Far East Basketball League Season 1 at makikita natin yung kung paano ba magre-recover itong dalawang teams na to, especially with them coming off of losses.
So both teams did come off of a loss. You have here on our standings 5-2 para sa PCU, and then for the Arandia Rhinos we have 3-4. As you see there, rounding out our standings, AUF leading 6-0, PUP 6-1, RTU at 4-2. That is our top 4 teams in our tournament.
Yeah, as far as I can remember, this is going to be like a double round robin. So magkikita pa ulit ang ilan sa mga teams natin ngayon as we speak. And not only that, with the recent loss that PCU has had, they have fallen into the 3rd seed na madalas nga nating nakita na sila yung naglalaro doon sa ating top 1 and top 2 standings. But we're gonna talk about the PCU Dolphins this time around. What makes this team so strong? Kahit na, alam mo yun, meron silang dalawang talo, they're still at the top of our standings.
Well, it is the familiarity. It is the discipline that head coach B-Boy Simon has instilled in this team in their last game. Although coming off a loss, 67-69, they needed, or AUF needed an extra 5 minutes to put away this PCU squad, who had a chance to win at regulation via a 3-pointer by Derek Deluz, but was just offline.
Well, one of the things na nakita natin dito was none other than Kenneth Obioha. We're gonna talk a lot more about him later, but going on to the other side is Arandia College, and we've seen what they can do currently at the 3-4 standing. Pero yung dalawa nilang key players, as far as I can remember, are not gonna be present today. So Brian Alarcon, a man who played 38 minutes, is gonna have to come up, you know, really hot today.
So in that game against RTU, 83-93, 10-point loss, could not get their game going towards, they could not sustain their game early on. They were keeping in pace, but late in the second quarter, an 11-0 run by RTU put the game out of reach.
Well, we're about to find out kung ano ang posibleng mangyayari sa laban na to. We're gonna toss it over to our game announcer to start off the match between PCU and Arandia.
Central Recreation and Fitness Center for the Far East Basketball League. Our first game is between Arandia Rhinos and PCU Dolphins. Now let's meet the Center's first ball. The PCU Dolphins. On guard number 4, Christian Austin. On guard number 22, Troy Monicolo.
Are we allowed to move this?
Number 10, Raquel Fayon. On board number 81, John Pasquale. And at center number 6, Shane Bautista. PCU Dolphins is led by Oscar Ribery Simon. Now introducing the starters from Arandia Rhinos. Number 10, Steve Arnold. Number 5, Harold Escalante. Number 15, Brian Sarapol. Number 4, Reagan Eagle. And number 31, Brian Arnold. Arandia Rhinos to Edwin Chico. This is the Far East Basketball League. Coming on.
Starting lineups are already here, presented to you at the center of the floor. Once again, you're watching the very first game of game day number 8 dito lamang sa Far East Basketball League Season 1. A pretty standard lineup para kay head coach B-Boy Simon para sa kanilang kupunan na PCU Dolphins. You see a lot of these rotational players really, coming into fourth para sa kanila, pero may mga nagbabalik towards that Arandia lineup and they're looking to make an impact right now.
So for this PCU squad, you did mention that this is the standard lineup. I am going to add, however, that there is a returning player according to head coach B-Boy Simon. His name is J.M. Balvarin. Very, very crucial piece of their rotation. He's not going to be starting in this game, but we are going to be looking out for him in this match.
One thing that we looked out for in that one was Brian Alarcon making a basket to start off the festivities in game day number 8. Meanwhile, babawi naman kaagad itong si D'Angelo Pascua for 2 points para sa Dolphins.
So you mentioned Brian Alarcon will be carrying much of the load as he normally does kasi wala si Jigs Querido as well as Chris Garcia. Both of those players played almost the entirety of their game against their game with RTU. 39 minutes ang kanilang linaro. Wala sila ngayon. And the reason for that is I spoke to head coach Cesar Babasa. Arandia it's a small school. They're not a big school. And of course, when it's a small school, I'm going to be honest, funding is a bit of an issue. And the head coach Cesar Babasa mentioned na yung mga ibang players, because they're so skilled and talented, they get invited yung mga panalay. Yung panalay is what they call yung ligang labas. So syempre, when they play in those games, we're not gonna deny, they get extra money off of that. And that's something, of course, na hindi naman mapipigilan ni head coach Cesar Babasa if the players get invited to that. Because syempre, pag-iisipin mo, pangkabuhayan yun. That's something that they can use in their daily lives. So, the issue with Arandia is palagi nga daw hindi kompleto ang kanilang lineup because of these sort of things.
Yeah, I mean, you get to look for other opportunities elsewhere. And so far, that's a good sign as well na nakikita sila not only in this league, but we also give opportunities for them. Pero siguro ito rin yung pagkakataon ng ilan sa mga manlalaro back in the bench to also show what they can do. Maybe get a lot more of that playing time na usually sinisimula ng mga starters. And so far, we start to see a bit of that now, a pretty unfamiliar lineup in the starting five of Coach Cesar Babasa. But even so, this is going to be a test for them. A really strong PCU squad that is looking to find a way para mas makabawi at makabalik sila into the winning column in this game. Now it's Escalante going to his left, then to the right. A very difficult shot there. Quite missing entirely off the rim. Now it's Filon, gets it to Manipolo, and that is an easy mid-range. 3 field goals already, all from the mid-range from PCU.
So Moneyman Manipolo doing what he does best. That's getting his mid-range game going. I'm just going to go back to what you mentioned. That is what head coach Cesar Babasa said when I was talking to him. These players that are on the floor right now and on the bench, yan ang kanyang mga reserve, yan yung sa Team B. And this is a chance for them to step up. Like what you mentioned, you are now going to be given the chance to show what you are made of. You're going to be given minutes. Make the most out of those minutes that are going to be given to you.
Now it's Alarcon, one of, the members of that Team A squad. In addition, you're going to also take a look at Ray Igot, one of the leading scorers of this team when he's there. Unfortunately, nung nakaraang laban ay wala siya dun sa kanilang lineup and he wasn't able to contribute to the loss of a 93-83 defeat kontra sa RTU Blue Thunders. But now, he has a chance to be able to do something in this game. Austria, looking at the center, gets it to Filon. And then there's Manipolo again, lightly guarded, and you can't leave him that open.
I was going to say, you gotta play tougher defense on Troy Manipolo, especially inside that three-point area.
9-2 is the score. Just a little bit more than 4 minutes. Again, a lot of pressure being given to Igot in this one. They know who to guard. Now it's Manipolo finding Bautista down low. And that is another foul. You see a really huge size advantage from the big guys coming here from PCU. So Arandia's really going to have their hands full on this one. But hold up. Oh, that's not ideal. Ray Igot, one of the leading scorers of this team, might have just been called for a technical foul for excessively complaining against the call.
So Red Igot was complaining from the previous play pa yan that there was a foul. So he's going to be teed up by our official. As you see there, Coach Cesar Babasa asking for clarification why the technical was called, and he's also signaling na may foul daw kasi. Bakit hindi daw tinawagan?
They saw it on the other side of the court. Our officials saw something else. But either way, that is not a good sign. Para sa koponan ng Arandia, you really have to, take note of all the action that's happening, because as of that moment, that was Austria getting his first point in the game. Third player unlocked. Maybe Bautista could add to it as well. You know what? I'm not gonna talk again.
He just jinxed it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna give the floor to you, JM.
This is one of those uncharacteristic things you mentioned earlier. These two teams, they start off slow, but PCU so far starting off good in today's ball game, already in double digits halfway the first quarter.
Escalante lines up a 3. Not going to be effective that time. Here comes Troy going to his left with a bump. A bit too strong in terms of defense. Pero mananatili pa rin naman ang bola sa side ng PCU with 16 seconds to work with. Halos mangangalahati na nga tayo dito sa ating first quarter. But the lead is still at 9. Now it's Troy. That's contested. Good defense, but Pasco absorbing the rebound. Now it's Austria finding Filon. An extra pass, not going to be effective. Good hands from Alarcon.
So Brian Alarcon playing the passing lanes really well during that particular possession. And prior to that play, better defense on Troy Manipolo down at the mid-range.
Now it's Bautista tested. One of the rare occurrences of him hitting that mid-range. He was trying to practice that a while ago during the warm-ups, but there it is. A foul from PCU. Igot will be tested at the line. This hefty lefty, has been trying his best to find opportunities. He's getting a lot of contact, and this is the first time na bibisita sa free throw line.
Red Igot not getting that free throw to go, but you see how he really likes to take it strong to the basket. No wonder he was asking for a foul a couple of plays back.
There you have it, Ray Igot scoring his first point dito sa ating laban. That's gonna help his team put the lead down to just 8. If you are Arandia, you don't want to trail in double digits to start off this game. Dapat ay makadikit ka na talaga, and it's gonna have to start on this side of the floor. 5 seconds remaining in the shot clock for the Dolphins. Do they have time? Manipolo, another mid-range. Other side, this time wouldn't work, but Dulay giving some life. It's just too big, PCU. But still, good defense by Arandia.
So 2 opportunities there to score off of those 2 offensive rebounds. Nothing para sa Dolphins.
Now they go ahead. Go to the other side. That's Domado. And that is a traveling violation. He was trying to look for, a better opportunity, but the opportunity was wasted during that time.
Lots of contact in that particular play, but referees telling the players to just play on.
Halfway point of the first quarter already. Score is at 11-3. Now it's Austria to Pascua. The Dolphins are really moving the ball very well, finding opportunities, and it leads to the open lane. However, good defense is being played by Arandia, trying to hold it down.
It's good defense at the same time. Just the shots not falling para dito sa PCU. They're getting those open looks because of that great ball movement like you mentioned. just the shots not falling at this point para sa Dolphins.
Yeah, PCU has been getting those opportunities. Arandia playing good defense. But on the other side, yung Arandia rin, hindi rin sila makabutas dito sa basket. Eh. It's like they're having such a hard time whenever PCU is trying to reach for all of those extra plays. And now it's PCU ball after what has happened so far in the competition.
So we are seeing the deliberate offense of PCU right now.
Pascua, good defense by Alarcon. Trying to go left, right, squeezing it in, and getting the end one opportunity. That right there is Brian Alarcon, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's played 38 minutes in the last game.
So Brian Alarcon, head coach Cesar Babasa mentioned, as much as Brian Alarcon, as good as he is, as you see there on the replay, getting that N1 bucket, courtesy of a foul from Dan Pascua, as much as he wants Brian Alarcon, to stay in the game longer, hindi daw siya robot. Napapagod din talaga tong bata. In 38 minutes, talaga nga namang nakakapagod yan.
But again, getting 5 of the total team points at 6, Brian Alarcon is really one player that you need to watch out for in this game. Luis Rotoni joining the action now para sa PCU. And then there's Derek Daluz as well, introducing himself. But Manipolo, he's been here a while ago, and he's continuing to shoot hot.
So Troy Manipolo missing 2 field goals earlier, but not gun shy, still making sure that he will get his points. Troy Manipolo looks like a man on a mission today, if you ask me, Hans.
Yeah, he scored 19 points in that previous game. Same with Kenneth Obioha. So he wants to keep the ball rolling, get his offense, get his shots up. And we saw it a while ago because of how he was able to move so freely na kailangan mo talaga siyang bantayan ng sagad. Good hands again from Igot.
That's correct. And speaking of Kenneth Obioha, we have not seen Kenneth Obioha. 7 minutes has gone by, which is quite surprising because usually sa rotation ni Coach B-Boy, 6 minutes pa lang, nandyan na yan si Kenneth.
I think for this game, you'd want to give more opportunities, try to look for some extra shots, as there it is again for Manipolo. Not gonna happen, but Wesley Dulay giving some life para sa PCU.
So Wesley Dulay's second offensive rebound of the game. Did not score in their last game, pero this time, nakakadalawang puntos na siya.
Igot again, trying it from distance. Good defense galing kay Rotoni. Now it's Dulay again, or should I say Daluz. One of the spark plugs of this team, really goes from 0 to 100 in like what? 3 seconds maybe. But yes, that's one of the reasons why he's there on the floor, a defensive specialist, but you can also expect him to pick up the pace pagdating sa opensa.
Derek Daluz in their last game, this speedy point guard, like what you mentioned, 0 points, 0 for 4. Did not have that good of a ball game. He is a defensive specialist, just to be clear, but he is also capable. No, he's a capable scorer. He had a chance. No, I mentioned it at the top of our broadcast. He had a chance to win this ball game in regulation. Could not get the three-pointer to go. Making good on those free throws, 2 out of 2 from the line.
And now they have it again. The lead is up to 10, 16 to 6 para sa kanilang kupunan. Wesley Dulay couldn't believe the call. He was just right there. And for most of the players that are currently part of Team B para sa kupunan ng Arandia, when you're going up against this team, PCU Dolphins, who are really, who's gonna put so much pressure on you defensively, you're gonna have to really get it together. As Gonatise going in. Again, another contested shot for PCU. Hindi talaga nila pinagbibigyan yung mga openings dito. Meanwhile, some of the shots that PCU has taken has been comfortable para sa kanilang kupunan. No hand up. All defense was there. And the box out, unfortunately, was not available. That led to a Wesley Dulay two-pointer.
Wesley Dulay with 4 offensive rebounds here in the first quarter alone, getting that two-pointer to go. He's inspired, I should say.
And Rotoni with a steal as well. He's gonna try to do it himself. And then there's Manipolo kissing it off the glass. And that right there is safety para sa PCU. They now have the biggest lead at 15.
Moneyman Manipolo getting that pass off of Rotoni, using the bank to get that 2 points to go.
Everybody's consistently having their hand up for PCU, and you know, you have to give it to Coach B-Boy Simon, really putting a lot of respect on the opposing side, and also yung disiplina ng mga players whenever they play defense.
And you look at this PCU squad, like what you mentioned earlier at the top of our broadcast, they start slow. I talked to head coach B-Boy Simon because during their game against AUF, they were stepping on the gas. And he said moving forward, that is what they're going to do. They are going to go and speed up the pace, as you see that pass of Rotoni to Troy Manilo for the 2 points.
Again, they lead by 15. Just a few minutes remaining in the first quarter. Now you have Dulay being stopped by the defense. There's Rotoni, another lefty for the Dolphins. Not gonna work that time. Just a bit of an unawareness there. Galing sa kupunan ng Arandia. He had a plan to get it to the guard. Unfortunately, Lance Pagdato wasn't looking as of that moment. So a timeout is going to be called by the PCU Dolphins. They're going to try to continue to bring the momentum on their side. But even so, they lead by 15. Heading back into the game, you are still watching the Far East Basketball League at the Central Recreation and Fitness Center dito lamang sa Quezon City. Hans Galeria and Coach Anton de los Reyes together with Miss Angelica Sarmiento at courtside, here to give you the action between the PCU Dolphins, who are currently leading by 15, 21-6 against the Arandia College. And here comes Balvarin, one of the newest additions to the squad, immediately making an impact.
JM Balvarin, like what head coach B-Boy Simon mentioned, we gotta watch out for him in making something out of nothing. Balvarin. Yep.
I guess that is it. An immediate call for a timeout to make sure the last possession of play was possible. They have now taken a balloon of a lead. PCU making an impact, 23-6 against Arandia to end the first quarter. Back into the action we go. You are still watching the very first season of the Far East Basketball League. Kami naman still, Hans Galeria and Coach Anton de los Reyes with you to start off the second quarter. Coach, PCU has been on the roll on offense to start off the frame.
On the roll is an understatement. They have been executing both their half-court game as well as their transition game, not to mention the defense. making sure that it will not be easy for Arandia to get their game going.
You know, and this gives an opportunity for all of the other players as well to show what they can do in this game. Now, it's Arandia looking for another ways. Igot back in the ball game. Just couldn't convert on the three. And here comes Balvarin again as PCU looking to set up their offense.
Well, during that possession, short on that three-pointer.
Lieva looking onto the center. Gives it to Rotoni. Goes to his right, then left. Tries to leave a pass, but that is not going to work. Alarcon with the steal, but a turnover is also committed. Dulay caught in the brink of the defense. There's Balvarin again. Confidence, but not taking it just yet. Lieva, after a Dulay offensive rebound, is not going to work. Igot retrieves it for Arandia.
You see those second chance opportunities being given by Wesley Dulay. Unofficially, I have him at 5 offensive rebounds for today's ball game.
And there's an offensive rebound for Arandia this time around as Igot sinusubukan niyang buhayin ngayon yung opensa ng Arandia. There weren't a lot of shots falling for them in the first quarter. And he was one of the 2 players who had the points in that very first frame.
And we don't want to see this from Arandia because remember in their game against RTU, early in the game, medyo nalamangan na rin sila ng RTU. They were keeping in step pero yung lamang ng RTU unti-unting lumaki hanggat sa nung second quarter, RTU went on an 11-0 run and never looked back, never relinquished that lead to Arandia. So we don't want Arandia to fall into that same hole in today's ball game. 3 and 4, very, very important for them to get this win para umangat sa standings ng ating Season 1 ng FEBL. Kami naman.
More players for Coach B-Boy Simon being added to the lineup right now. You see Torrenueva wearing number 18 for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, on the other side, you see Escalante finally getting it on the board.
Escalante did not play in their last game. Reason being is he was not in that game. So today, making up for lost time, hitting that 2-point or getting the 2 points for the Rhinos.
Yeah, it was part of that starting lineup as well. Meanwhile, Torrenueva, he was practicing that in the warm-ups. And you see the bench, they were really happy about that Torrenueva too.
So Torrenueva, one of the players in the last game that was not able to see any action as well, because of that short rotation of Coach B-Boy Simon.
That was Jeco Torrenueva getting his first 2 points so far in this game. And you'll love to see it. Even the bench players, even the reserves of PCU Dolphins are getting minutes on the court. And for them to show out what they can do as well, that is a really good sign. But good pass down low para sa kupunan ng Arandia. That time, it was Domado getting his first 2 points.
So great execution on the part of Arandia to be able to get some points on the board. Cut that lead down to just 13 points.
Finally breaking double digits, but there you have it. Quick and strong to the basket. That was Balvarin para sa 2 puntos.
J.M. Balvarin. No wonder head coach B-Boy Simon said to watch out for this player. 4 points in today's ball game off the bench.
Yeah, and he even, you know, started action in the latter part na ng ating first quarter. Now an immediate impact. At least 2 out of 3 field goals have already been made by J.M. Balvarin. Pero nakikita din natin yung Arandia. They're starting to be a little bit more aggressive and they're getting more successful calls from our referees.
So lumalaban na ang Arandia. This is what we like to see. No? We don't want na ang Arandia medyo mabaon ng ganong kalalim, ganito kaaga.
Although that's 1 for 2 in terms of the call. Maybe they could do something about that lead that you have been talking for a while now. Dulay tries to get inside and a turnover, costly. Now Escalante, he knows how to take it all the way to the basket. And that is exactly what he's gonna do. More life para dito sa Arandia as they head back into the free throw line.
So Derek Daluz, no choice but to foul Escalante on that transition offense. Now, like what you mentioned, no, kailangan makahabol ng Arandia, and one way of doing that is playing good defense, and we saw that against Wesley Dulay. Arandia down on the block, holding their own against Dulay.
Escalante, again, another one of two free throw strike. Alarcon being back in the lineup. You're finally seeing Kenneth Obiojo on the floor in the second quarter, but there it goes again. Soaring high, Balvarin, 6 points to start his debut para sa PCU.
J.M. Balvarin, no doubt a player we're going to look out for moving forward for PCU.
Now here he goes again. Unfortunately, Domado had a hand on that. Escalante now looking to get inside the basket, but a foul is going to be called against PCU. Just look at this, right? Soaring high into the basket was J.M. Balvarin para sa 2 puntos. We'll probably talk about the skill set in just a bit dahil doon sa kanyang latest layup na nagawa, 29-14. It is still PCU with the lead. Back into the ball game we go. You are still watching the Far East Basketball League Season 1. This is game day number 8. Very first game of our quadruple header para sa araw na to. PCU kontra sa Arandia. And this time it's going to be Derek Daluz who's going to be called for a foul once again. He's trying to contest his case sa ating mga opisyales. Pero pangalawang foul na yon para dito kay Daluz. And with 6 minutes remaining in this game, Arandia is already at the penalty situation.
So 5 personal or 5 team fouls already para sa PCU habang wala para sa Arandia. So Arandia making a run and doing it by being very disciplined on defense. 2 for 2 para kay Brian Alarcon, who scored 8 points in their last ball game. Sorry, 5 points, 6 rebounds. And gaya nga ng sinabi ni head coach Cesar, hindi naman robot yan. So he really does get tired. He has to play defense. He has to also bring the ball up para sa Arandia Rhinos.
Well, Coach Anton, I feel like he's doing a bit better now compared to last game. Already scoring 7 points in the first half alone. A dangerous pass there. Na-retrieve naman yan nitong si Alog. And there you have it. That's gonna be another one of those 2 first points starting to come alive as Arandia's the offense.
Alog, nice inside basket. Not phased by the defense of the Dolphins inside.
Trying to look for another way. There goes Balvarin. And then to Obioja, introducing himself in this game. At kita mo kagad yung latag, especially with the instant replay.
You see there, Kenneth Obioja powering his way inside. Nothing the defense could do on that particular possession.
Obioja, another chance to just go and get ahead at it. We've seen a lot of those opportunities being given. My correction as well, it was Alejo that has scored a while ago. And Obioha also getting his first 3 points of that game. Now it's Alarcon holding that basketball. Na-extend na naman yung kalamangan ng PCU to 14 points. But a foul is going to be called against Torrenueva. Igot, really, a physical player, if I would say. Pero kung mapapansin mo naman, kitang-kita mo rin yung advantage and yung physicality na meron itong si Ray Igot.
No, he likes the contact. He's not afraid to mix it up. And you can see why. Laki din ang katawan nito ni Ray Igot for his size.
Although a consistent problem for Arandia is them not really making a lot of their free throws.
Yes, the free throws, indeed.
Well, that was a counter jinx, if I would say. So, if you're Arandia, I guess you will take that. That right there was Ray Igot's 4th point. So, Igot 4 points, Escalante 4 points, and then Alarcon also with 7. At this point in time, you're going to have to do something about it if you are Arandia. The Rhinos have to play it on the defensive side of the floor. And there you have it, more of that slow-paced action para dito kay Igot. Just unfortunate that the angle really wasn't there yet.
Great defense, played the passing lanes, got that interception, just could not finish with his strong hand. Like what you said, sometimes yung angulo rin talaga pagka mga layup, napaka-importante niyan for you to be able to get it to go.
Arandia has chosen to play with a light man-to-man or a light full-court man-to-man. We've seen them a while ago try to go here on their side of the floor to hopefully retrieve the basketball. Pero pagdating dito, medyo doon na sila kinukulang eh. That's where the defense is starting to crumble.
Well, I'm also going to give credit to PCU because they have been executing their offense flawlessly so far in this ball game. 4 minutes and 13 remaining. So for the almost 16 minutes, they have been playing really, really well, holding this Arandia team to just 19 points so far. Ngayon, 34 points na para sa PCU.
Troy Manipolo finally getting to his mark as the first player in double digits for all of the scorers, leading them all so far in this competition. Nakita nyo rin doon, itong si Tanyote just really being hounded by the PCU defense just because of how big and lengthy they are in terms of interior. Now they want to go to Alarcon, testing Austria's defense. Who wants to go ahead? There goes Igot again. And there is an end one opportunity right at the nick of time. Ray Igot showing out in the second quarter. Just look at this, right? Good squeeze into that center position. He knows that he has the advantage in the paint at rekta ng 2 puntos.
So he did not take that handoff from Alarcon. Instead, decided from that pocket pass, just went up for that 2-pointer. That's why he was able to get that 3-point play.
That Igot Alarcon connection, both having 7 points already in this game. They would want to continue the pace kontra sa PCU because they still have an angle to climb, and that is how you start it. PCU starting to make some mistakes already, and that's courtesy of the defense of Arandia.
So Kenneth Obioa had the right idea. Troy Manipolo had that free baseline, just did not cut hard enough to be able to get that pass.
Here's Igot again. Lines up a 3. Not gonna work. Tanyote was there pero hindi niya lang na-retrieve yung basketball. So now it's PCU. Austria charging inside. He had the open lane and he had no choice but to go for the layup.
Easy does it for Christian Austria. Lefty layup. That was what the lane, no? the open lane that Kenneth Obioa saw earlier. Kay Troy Manipolo just wasn't able to take advantage of that.
Now here's Alarcon giving Austria a flurry of moves. Igot now is gonna be tested again. Not gonna work. Lipat na naman tayo dito. Balvarin to Manipolo. Nagmamadali sila ngayon. Good defense being played by Arandia, but Failon retrieves it with a steal. Now it's Balvarin, the high flyer. Gets it to go for another set of points.
J.M. Balvarin now with 8 points second leading scorer para sa PCU.
There's Alarcon. In and out goes the basketball. Balvarin already with 8. He wants to go the double digits. That was almost good defense. And then all of a sudden, our officials are going to call it. But just like what I said a while ago, free lane, ready for takeoff just right there was PCU.
Nice pass by Lionel Failon to JM Balvarin on that possession. Eto naman, nakakuha ng foul ang PCU. And ito yung sinabi ni Head Coach B-Boy Simon. They are going to be pushing the pace. They are going to push the tempo, up the tempo, so to speak, ng mga games sila moving forward. No doubt, it's because JM Balvarin is now in the lineup. Mukhang kumpiyansa sila. Dahil dito, kumpiyansa sila.
Alright, so far, just like what we've seen, there is currently a challenge being tested here by Coach Cesar Babasa and Arandia College. They would want to contest in terms of the call that was made here para sa kanilang kupunan. It was already an opportunity, a chance para kay Balvarin to test it out. Pero sa tingin ng Arandia, it was all ball and they were actually closing it. They were actually closing on it very, very well. It was also Escalante na nandoon sa may bandang ilalim as he challenged Balvarin on that takeoff.
So again, just for the benefit of our viewers, the teams have they have a couple of challenges. They're going to stick to the volleyball style, no? Yung dalawang challenge per quarter. If successful, hindi mawawala. If unsuccessful, mababawasan ng isa.
Yep, and you also lose your timeout.
So yan ang style natin. It's different from FIBA. FIBA, you're only allowed to challenge once and you're only allowed to challenge yung mga out of bounds. And yan lang ang mga na-challenge dito. You can challenge yung mga foul as well as yan, yung out of bounds. And referees will also have the benefit of elevating yung mga regular foul to unsportsmanlike or flagrant fouls.
And it seems like they have already made their decision so far. And, you know, we're going to take a look at that right now. All right, it seems that we have already made a decision regarding the challenge of Arandia College. But we're going to give some time for our game announcers to also say it ourselves. And there we have it. The challenge is going to be unsuccessful para sa kanilang kupunan. The hand was down, and that led to a Balvarin set of free throws.
So unsuccessful challenge like what Hans had mentioned and our venue announcer said. So yan. This is, pinag-usapan din natin to ng ating commissioner, si Commissioner Bien Capistrano. Yung mga challenge na ganito. Bakit? Ano yung reason? And the reason behind it is para to be fair din to the coaches na, oh, ito, sige, gusto nyong i-review para wala nang kumbaga samaan ng loob. We'll give you that benefit na you can challenge the calls and we'll review it. Pero pag foul talaga, then the call will stick.
And at that moment, it was a foul, pero hindi nga lang na-convert itong si JM Balvarin, hitting 0 for 2 in that free throw line. Maybe they can do something about it now. Escalante, challenged by Obioha, finding Alejo down low. He wants to test it, but good defense again from Balvarin, helping on the weak side.
At Lionel Failon right on top of the action.
Meanwhile, parehas, you know, they're starting to show out in terms of defense talaga para sa parehas na teams. Now it's Escalante finding someone on the right side. No go para dito kay Ubas. Now it's Austria. They wanted to go all the way. That was almost a foul. Not gonna happen. Failon again. This time, he's the one who's gonna challenge that free throw line for extra 2 points. Really pushing the pace. Are at PCU.
So they are really upping the tempo. They want to get those points in bunches. And one way to do that talaga is to speed up the ball game. Lionel Filon getting that offensive rebound off of that Christian Austria miss. Yung offensive rebound story ng ating ball game, we are gonna give those to you later on. Because no doubt, napakadami na nito para sa PCU.
Alright, a slight or an 80% platoon change.
Platoon substitution, only one player will remain.
And I feel like that player is going to be none other than... we're going to try to figure that out right now. Oh, it's Ubas. Ubas is the only player remaining. So this is somewhat a familiar scenario because most of the players who are here are part of the Team B lineup ng kupunan ng Arandia. So they're really gonna have their hands full. This is experience that they would need to move forward against a PCU Dolphin team that is leading by 18 points. Far East Basketball League Season 1. Still, PCU Dolphins leading by 18 points. And not only that, you can also take note of Arandia College putting mostly their new guys on the floor. And that is really a good way to start. 2 set of free throws ang ibibigay dito para kay Ubas. And that is a way for him to go ahead and kick things off para sa kanilang momentum.
So head coach Cesar Babasa giving opportunities to his players that I wouldn't say he doesn't normally use, no? Pero talagang mga pang-practice to eh. Ito yung mga dine-develop pa niya. Ito yung mga players na, you know, he's grooming to take over.
Unfortunately, in those kinds of situations, you're gonna have to make your free throws. Now it's Austria being guarded by Ubas. He had the advantage. He's gonna take it again. There are people who flew, and then there's also Gonatise, who's gonna have a hand on that basketball, cutting the shot clock to just 12 seconds. Now it's Austria. Manipolo, a bit open there. Off to the right goes that basketball. Abioha again lines up the shot, doesn't get the friendly bounce. Good rebound here, galing dito kay Alog. This time, that's Alog. Now they wanted to go ahead, just not the best execution as of the moment. Manipolo, Gonatise, and then to Filon para sa 2 puntos.
Great pass by Troy Manipolo to Lionel Filon, getting his 4th point in this ball game.
Oh man, they were pretty much hounded with what was happened there. Leyva catching an air ball as of the moment. And PCU Dolphins, they currently lead by 20. They're going to call on that final 2 seconds. They're probably going to up the tempo of this game and bring the basketball to the other side of the court. I don't know if, we're even going to be going to a break because this is already just 2 seconds remaining. But really good execution coming in from PCU.
Well, we want to see something off of this timeout. 2 seconds. Head coach B-Boy Simon not willing to take, miss out on this opportunity to increase their lead.
Honestly, I think this game for Coach B-Boy Simon has been all about execution. I know you've mentioned it before, pero sobrang na-emphasize yan ngayon with the calls that they've been having, with the timeouts na binibigay nila. Alam mo yung kahit 2 segundo na lang, 7 seconds na lang, they're really not letting up because they would want to execute in the best way possible. And here it goes. There it goes. Filon looking for another person. But I feel like you need more than 2 seconds to be able to execute that play. Even so, PCU Dolphins are in cruise control of this game against the Arandia Rhinos. 42-22 at the end of the first half.
Back into the action we go. You are still watching the Far East Basketball League Season 1. You're currently witnessing the highlights of what has been domination na ipinakita sa atin ng PCU Dolphins going up against the Arandia College Rhinos in the first half of action.
Domination indeed. 20-point lead being enjoyed by the Dolphins. Their execution, their defense, everything clicking for this Dolphins squad in today's ball game.
It was really performing at naipakita nila kung ano ang kaya nilang gawin, executing to perfection. There are some, there are some moments where it has really been a bunch of errors para sa kanilang kupunan, but that didn't limit all of them. And also, we get to see more of the players mula sa PCU to actually get to perform in this game.
Yan yung magandang nangyayari when you are in the driver's seat. The luxury of being able to field in more players to see action. They're getting their reps in, game speed.
And very confident din sila with the stakes that they have. Not only, especially as of this moment, na nakikita nyo rin yung ilan sa mga ganap. You currently saw Miss Angelica Sarmiento together with Alarcon and Balvarin na makakausap naman natin maya-maya lamang. But as of the moment, you see Arandia and PCU field goals talagang malaki para sa PCU, making more of the half. Pero kita mo yung ibang difference with assist, with the bench points, and especially yung 3-point field goals.
The 3-point field goals, madaming ang attempts, no? 6 para sa PCU, 4 para sa Arandia, 12 assists, more than 11 more para sa PCU sa kontra Arandia, 18 to 11 ang rebounds, 19 bench points for PCU.
That's a lot. That is a lot to take a note of, especially now dahil makakausap natin ngayon si Miss Angelica Sarmiento together with the players of Arandia and PCU.
Kasama ko ngayon si Brian ng Arandia Rhinos at sa kabila naman ay si JM Balvarin ng PCU Dolphins. And dito muna tayo ngayon kay Brian. So Brian, you're currently 20 points behind the Dolphins. And sa tingin mo, ano yung naging challenges nyo in the first half and how do you plan to overcome it?
Ayun nga, gawa na kasi sa ensayo namin, di kami nakukumpleto. So, ayun, nadadala dito hanggang sa game. Kaya, ayun, nag-adjust naman si coach sa depensa namin. Yun. Gawa ng kondisyon din ng kabila, kami, hindi naman kami ganun kabuo pag nag-ensayo. Kaya, ayun, natambakan kami ng ganyan. Kaya, yun yung mga naging challenges namin. Kaya, nag-adjust si coach sa depensa. Tapos kami din, kailangan din namin mag-adjust. Siyempre, tambak namin ng 20. Tapos, second half na. So, kailangan namin magpursige pa. Yun, sa depensa.
Thank you so much and good luck. And baka mayroon ka din gustong batian or pasalamatan.
Binabati ko nga pala yung mga tita ko dyan, mga kapatid ko sa Paranaque, at mga nag-alaga sa akin. Salamat po.
Thank you so much. And dito naman tayo ngayon kay JM. So JM, you're now leading but a lot can happen in the remaining half. Sa tingin mo, ano yung kailangan yung gawin to keep the lead and win the game?
Siguro gagawin pa rin namin yung tinuro ng coach namin. And magtutulong kaming teammate. Ayun lang.
And so, ano naman ang kailangan namin abangan in the remaining half sa Dolphins?
Mas gagaling pa namin ngayon na.
Baka meron kang gustong batian or pasalamatan.
Binabati ko yung family ko dyan, mga kaibigan ko. Tapos yung jowa ko. Okay na yun.
Thank you so much and good luck and back to you, gentlemen.
You see two different auras, coach, of the players here for Arandia at para sa kupunan ng PCU. Coach JM Balvarin, you've seen him from a while ago. But as of this moment, we're gonna throw it back to a short break. Magbabalik kami to start the third quarter. kicking us off this time with third quarter action. Hatid pa rin sa inyo ng FEBL Season 1. PCU leading by 20, 42-22 para simulan ng ating second half. And D'Angelo Pascua looking to add to that, pero Arandia, just like what Brian was saying a while ago, they would want to reinstate their defense.
So in this ball game, yung depensa nga talaga ang makakatulong para makabalik itong Arandia Rhinos. And malaki rin na yung sinabi ni Brian Alarcon na pagka sa ensayo, hindi daw sila nakokumpleto. Medyo kulang-kulang daw. Kaya pagdating dito sa game, nadadala yun. And that's something that, you know, the reason why we always say as coaches, when you practice, you need to give 100% because you're also going to carry that over when you have a ball game.
Yeah, I feel like yung chemistry talagang kailangan mong i-develop whenever you're there. Sa mga ensayo na madalas nating napapansin as Alarcon lines up a shot. Not gonna be effective as of the moment. Now it's Pascua again. I believe it's the starting five na parte na naman ang lineup natin ngayon with Diaz being the inclusion. And there goes Pascua kicking off the second half.
D'Angelo Pascua getting that transition offense to go. Nothing Brian Alarcon could do.
Dan Pascua already having 7 points in this game, Coach. Troy Manipolo with 10. Balvarin, the newcomer, with 8. You have Dan Pascua with 7. You see a lot of options as well para sa kupunan ng Dolphins.
So in the last ball game, PCU only used 8 players. Talagang napaka-igsi ng rotation nila. Pero ngayon, if you see 1, 2...
I don't know. There's probably a lot.
Like 12.
Yeah, you can
12
specify
players,
that. Yeah, go ahead.
12 players already seeing action para dito sa PCU.
Meanwhile, I feel like you could also say the same thing para sa Arandia. But PCU just having a better offensive game so far. Escalante this time around. Kissing it off the glass para sa 2 puntos.
Great outlet pass to Escalante. Going with the reverse to protect the ball.
Manipolo with 12 points, Escalante with 6, Pascua missing the basketball, and now Arandia's back on the loose. 4-on-4 situation. Now it's gonna be Alejo tested. Masyadong malakas yung bitaw niya na yun. Manipolo against Alarcon, the 2 scorers of this team. Fader, that is good. Troy Manipolo has always been like that. Now it's Domado. He wanted to go for a behind the back, but again, chemistry issues have really been facing Arandia so far.
So Troy Manipolo, gotta say, 4 quick buckets to start the third quarter.
Now again, good defense brought about by Igot. That's a 3-on-3, but Alarcon decides to take it for himself. Now Alarcon has made it to 9 points. Igot and Alarcon with 9 a bunch.
So Brian Alarcon sailing in for that transition basket para sa Arandia.
Now it's Pascua again, finding some space in the mid-range, although not enough room for him to be able to get that in. So Igot doing a really good job in terms of boxing out. We know that his role is to try and guard the big guys of this team. It's not easy, but he's doing a decent job towards that.
We're talking about Dan Pascua, Lionel Filon. Those are the reliable bigs along with Kenneth Obioha para dito sa PCU who does the defense inside.
Now that's Alog. Doesn't get the friendly bounce inside the basket. He saw an open lane and he had an option there. Now there's Lieva. This time bibigay na naman dun kay Balvarin. Pero hindi nga lang gagana yun. Alarcon is gonna be stopped. Pero rerekta naman siya kay Igot. They want to go and get at it. Igot using his left. Nilayo sana yung bola para hindi maabot. Pero hindi ganun ang nangyari. But then, good defense was also played by Arandia. So they will get back possession.
Troy Manipolo. Turnover on that possession. I thought he was gonna pull up for his specialty of the house. Medyo nag-hesitate dun.
Now it's Alejo. Finding some room. Good. In and out. Fader with a post para mapasok yung 2 puntos.
Alejo, great footwork inside. Able to carve some space to get that 2-point bucket to go.
4 points ngayon para kay Alejo. Now it's Balvarin. Filon, that's his shot. And if you don't face him, that might be another one of those shots that he can take all day.
JM Balvarin. Nice pass to his teammate Lionel Filon for that mid-range jumper.
Already with 6 points. Itong si Filon as of the moment. And, you know, Arandia, again, they're doing their best to get some of those offensive stops. But if you don't close out on the offensive end, that is going to be a problem for you.
Troy Manipolo, that mid-range jumper already with 6 points in the third quarter. Starting to wax hot.
Igot now, gustong bumawi. He has been off in the 3-point territory. Actually, both of these teams have been off from beyond the arc. At kung titignan mo kasi yung loob when you put it towards the mid-range, they have all the confidence to shoot that because even in the middle of those errors, yun yung masasabi mo na napaganda pa eh.
Troy Manipolo, ball slipped out of his hands, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna credit an assist to Troy Manipolo in that particular possession.
Alog doing his best. Now it's Alarcon. He dished it to Escalante, a screen. Although that is going to be an offensive foul called against Alog, he wasn't stationary enough. Napakamot at napangiti na lang itong si Coach Cesar Babasa. He didn't know what to do at that point.
You gotta be more disciplined, Alog. Medyo late lang yung pag-pick niya dun eh. But again, these are players from the Team B squad ng Arandia. Getting some action, seeing some minutes for Coach Cesar.
That time, it's Austria. Short on that one. Obioha back in the basketball game. Pero hindi niya mariretrieve yung rebound. So the ball will go to the side of Arandia College. During the start of this third quarter, we've had a lead of 20 na pinanghahawakan ng kupunan ng PCU. And now it's up to 24. Arandia needs to do something about it. There is Igot. Not the most comfortable of shot. Ganotise was right there. But Lieva timing that rebound very well. Manipolo again soaring. Almost getting to the fall, pero he was looking for contact. Hindi niya nga lang makukuha yun. Alarcon on the other end goes to his right. Tries to take a step back. And he's going to be setting up the offense again. Going up against Austria. Sizing up the defense. That's not going to work that time.
So still, no 3-point field goals para dito sa Arandia. Same with PCU. Pero yung transition offense, nice pass by Troy Manipolo to JM Balvarin. Now with the double figures.
Yep. Already in double figures in his debut dito sa larong ito. Meanwhile, Igot has really been doing he's been trying his luck in getting that outside shots to fall. Pero I mean, if you're also playing or doing a lot of effort on the defensive end, you would get exhausted. And I feel like that's also been the case, especially with what has happened in previous games of Arandia.
So the fast break, no, yung fast break offense nitong PCU talagang nagki-click for them in today's ball game.
Here he goes again. Just not a make for Balvarin. Pero ganun pa man, it was still a good move. At babalik pa rin ang bola dito sa kupunan ng PCU with a fresh 14 to take baseline inbound.
And it's gotta be a factor like what you mentioned, no, yung fatigue. Kasi you see there Ray Igot, he plays defense, he has to play offense. If the game is going this fast, talagang nakakapagod yan on his part.
It's Ganotise trying to do his best. He finally gets a break out of it.
Sidestep beauty para kay Ganotise. Jab step to the left, goes baseline, Euros, gets the contact, will go to the line for two. Good on that first free throw.
That right there you're currently seeing on your screens is Ethan Ganotise tested at the line and finally makes his first 2 points in this game. Medyo matagal-tagal na rin siyang nandito sa ating laro. Second quarter, naglalaro na siya. So I feel like it's about time for him to also contribute on the offensive end of the floor. Now it's Obioha looking at Manipolo, finding some space again. Although there was some sort of miscommunication, good defense din yung nilaro ni Alog doon, doing off-ball defense against Christian Austria.
Christian Austria being motioned by Troy Manipolo to cut baseline. But like what you mentioned, the defense was there. That's why Austria could not cut down that baseline.
Although this is the frustrating part for Arandia, right? You play very hard-working defense on your end. And then when you go to the offensive side, you commit an unforced turnover instead of you getting an opportunity to land that shot. So, frustrations probably are at an all-time high para dito sa kupunan ng Arandia, and you'd want to do something about it, especially now. Here comes Balvarin. Going up against Escalante. He's looking for some room now. Going to the right, getting a lay. Off it goes, Obioha again. Powering through, but look at Balvarin. Out of nowhere, getting another 2 points.
You know, I like JM Balvarin, how he attacks the basket. He stays low. He's able to, you know, get that kind of momentum going when he goes downhill. Napakaganda makita niyan. Also plays the offensive glass really well. That's why he was able to get that offensive rebound and that stick back.
Lead is again up to 26. Calls have been made para sa kanilang kupunan. But a timeout is going to be called by Arandia College towards that. And as of this moment, again, this is completely different para sa kanilang kupunan. But then, you see it now. More extra action has been happening here para sa kanilang kupunan. And my goodness, I feel like this is some sort of situation that you would want. This is another situation para sa kanilang kupunan, which is very much unfortunate because again, you take a look at PCU and they're currently having a very comfortable time in this game. But one thing that has been leading to the frustrations of this team has always been this squad na naging parte ng kanilang kupunan. And Arandia College is really feeling the frustrations with all of the errors, with all of the pressure, translating into training, bringing into the game. And now, for the players who are currently wearing blue, you tend to see how it feels now. You tend to see how stressful it has been being part of that losing streak. And you see a lot of those moments for this team. And Coach Cesar Babasa, I'm sure you're probably not hearing it on broadcast, but he really is feeling the temper with this Arandia squad, with everything that has happened so far.
It's the frustration getting the best of head coach Cesar Babasa. So if you see it there on your screens,
yeah, he's still not done, unfortunately. And kita mo lahat, he's been warning and telling all of his players to just go ahead and out. I mean, Coach, you rarely ever see this, right? You rarely ever see this, where there are moments.
it is something that, you know, you don't see often. We've seen it in the pros, it happens, but for college, high school, you know, it's not something that you like to see. It's not something that we see. As you see the Rhinos, slowly their players trickling out of the venue.
Yeah, they tend to be, you know, completely frustrated with the call. You also got to see, you know, Coach Brian Nalarcon and even Ray Igot, just one of the few people who's made at least a handshake with the rest of the players And I feel like as usual or as unusual as it may seem, these players still are acknowledging the point as to where it is going to be. But I guess a timeout is gonna be called. We don't know if we're still gonna be continuing the play. Honestly, Coach Anton, I'm not used to this, but we're gonna go ahead to a short break. You are still watching the Far East Basketball League Season 1 between a match ng PCU Dolphins at ng Arandia Rhinos. And so far, you're currently looking at the PCU Dolphins, one of the rare occurrences that both I and me and Coach Anton have been, we have been taking a look at some of the situations that have been happening so far, and I feel like with what has happened in this game, with all of the frustrations that have pent up or that have led to this moment, we are at a standstill. 58-32 is the score. And from what we're currently seeing, it is highly likely for Arandia to return to action in this game.
It is actually not going to happen because of the fact that Arandia has walked out.
Yeah, and I guess we leave it at that. And with that being said, the players of PCU are already in smiles. They probably couldn't believe what has happened, but they win 58 to 32 with a minute and 22 to go in the third quarter. I cannot believe that I'm saying that, but so far, that is going to be the end of the first game of game day number 8. Second, ang ikalawa nating laro ay sa pagitan ng PIC or the Philippine International College kontra sa Angeles University Foundation, the remaining undefeated team para sa laban na ito or para sa ligang ito. In behalf of Coach Anton de los Reyes and Miss Angelica Sarmiento doing courtside, my name is Hans Valeria. Magbabalik po ang Far East Basketball League Season 1. Well, I guess we got back on schedule.
Yep. Back to schedule na tayo.